wonderful friends and family. Happy New Year. We are so excited here from Rademan Vineyard that we have moved into 2021 and what an exciting year is lying ahead of us. I've got another farm story to tell you, and this one is about God's timing and as how He does the right thing at the right time. I was driving with my children once. We had like a SUV car and we drove on the farm road. It was like a 10-kilometer road. We were on our way home and it was already night, and so we were just getting home, and before we got to our house on the farm, suddenly this idea popped in my mind: turn right. And I was like, okay, I turned right and I was almost like next to a little cliff, and I went up with this 4x4 car through the rocks, and there were sheep lying just next to the road there. And as I drove through the sheep, I saw this one pair of eyes that had a different color than the sheep, and I went straight to it, stopped, and when I got out of the car, in the lights of the car, I saw this caracal. In Afrikaans we call it a rooi kat, a red cat, and it was lying there with a lamb clenched in its teeth, busy choking this lamb. It was lying on the ground, and when it saw me right close to it, it jumped up and ran away. The lamb was lying for dead on the ground. I even chased after this thing trying to catch it. I don't know how you can be so stupid to try and catch a rooi kat with your bare hands, but anyways, that was just an instinct at that moment. And when I got back, I saw this lamb dead on the ground. I picked it up, and as I picked it up, I held it in my hands, and while it was lying dead in my hands, suddenly it got its breath back, and so this lamb came alive, and it was actually alive since that time, and it became a big sheep. And you know, the timing of that was so amazing, because imagine if I came just a minute later, that lamb would have never been saved. In Romans 5, it says, "And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." You see, at just the right time, when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. You see, at just the right time, Christ died for you. He knew your hopeless condition and He saved you. This year is the year of God's unlimited supply. Let's move into a place of receiving God's unlimited supply and realize the time is now to move forward in the Spirit and to do those things that God has called you to do. God is with you in this year. He is right there inside of you, ready to pursue the future. And God's unlimited supply is available for you right now. Today is the day of God's salvation. You are highly favored and deeply loved of God.